What is up, YouTube? It's Prince Simba back with a new video. Today's video is going to be my top 5 tips for dominating the competition and getting more wins on Olympus. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And remember to keep it locked to the channel for my YouTube streams and for my Twitch streams at twitch.tv/PrinceSimba93. So keep it locked. Hope to see you guys there, and let's jump straight into the video. So, tip number 1 is going to be a more simple tip, more map-based, but one that can be easily forgotten, especially if you're rotating late, if you're moving late, zones on you, pressure, all that. So this one's just remember that the phase runner is there. So the phase runner, the big long tube that spans, that very middle area of the map, remember that it's there, that you can use it, that you can jump through, that you can escape from a team if you're really under duress, if you need to just get away. Remember that the phase runner is there. The left and middle phase runner entrances are a little bit iffier, just because if another team is on the other side, you really just are a little vulnerable because they can hear you coming, they can get ready to shoot at you and whatever. But so those are really like if you just really have to. But then there is the third one, which is the one that sends you into the rift, which is a really good one, especially if you have no other way to rotate, if you're just really under pressure. It's a great one because that one sends you into the sky and you get to kind of drop, so you can actually like land safely. So remember that it's there in case you're like, oh, we're not gonna rotate around, we're not gonna make it into zone. Remember that it's there, that it is a viable option to move forward on the map. So sometimes I see people forget, myself, I forget that it's a thing because I'm so used to on other maps, having to rotate on foot. So remember that it's there, use it when you can, and it's sometimes very good for positioning and moving into zone when you really need to. So on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is going to be just don't use the Trident unless you really need to. And you might be like, hey, Simba, well, why did the devs give us vehicles? Why did they give us Tridents? We have Tridents now, use them. No. The beautiful thing that the devs did when they made the Tridents was that they actually made them very loud, and you take a lot of damage. It's very easy to take a lot of damage because it's dispersed very well in the Trident. So if a team really focuses you because they hear you coming because the Trident is very loud, it's very easy to crack everyone on the Trident. And at that point, it's freaking out if you don't have the boost on it. So just don't use it. Really, if you guys are getting pressured super hard and need to get away, jump on the Trident by all means. If you guys, need to rotate very fast to maybe push a team, use the Trident. Or just, if you're the only one alive and you're just trying to get away, or you're trying to do some fun, very cheeky stuff, use the Trident. But if you're just doing normal rotations, moving from place to place, and you're not under any pressure, just, walk it. Don't use the Trident. It makes a lot of noise. It's very easy to take a lot of damage on it. And it's much better to just rotate on foot than to use the Trident. So now we're gonna move to tip number 3. So with tip number 3, I'm gonna first preface it by saying it's gonna kind of piggyback a little bit off a video that I made 1 or 2 weeks ago, which I talk about kind of whose stocks rose and fell by moving to Olympus, while also I mention a lot of deeper analytics and give a lot of deeper thoughts to the ranked meta going forward and what legends to play. So check that video out. I'll have the link in the description, and there'll probably be a little thing here. So click it, check it out, and then come back for a more in-depth dive into the legends to pick on Olympus. But with that, my suggested legends and the tip number 3 is to use movement legends. Pick the characters that can move you across the wide open areas of Olympus quickly, that can get you on height quickly, that can move your team quickly, or that can give you good cover out in the open since Olympus is very wide open. So those are really the best characters to use on Olympus, whether they're movement characters or basically just Jibby. So really it would come to the characters you want to play are going to be Wraith, they're going to be Horizon, they're going to be Octane. And then another really good one is going to be Jibby because I just mentioned the wide open areas. So those are like the big four. If you want, I don't know who to play. I don't know who to pick. I don't know what to do. Pick one of those four. Those are probably going to be the best 4 legends to use. And if you pick one of those 4, you'll probably, do pretty good. But like I said, check out the video that I'm going to link down below for a more like in-depth analysis of the Olympus meta and what's going to go on with that. But that is my tip. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 is going to cover the guns that you have to use. And by this, I mean you need to use medium to long range weapons. Make sure that in your kit, in the guns that you're running, make sure that you're comfortable with at least 1 mid-range gun, 1 long range gun. Olympus, like I mentioned in my previous point, is huge. It is tall and it is wide. So with that, you need to be good with some type of long range weapon, whether it's a sniper, one of the sniper class, or it's a scout, 301, hemlock, guns like that. You need to be good with at least one of them, because you cannot rely on, I don't know, Mastiff R9, Volt R9, Mastiff, Eva. You can't rely on those guns. You can't carry both of them on this map. You have to run a longer range weapon to be able to do damage and punish the teams that rotate, late out in the open. So you have to run these different guns on this map, and it's all a part of adapting to the map that you're on. But definitely try and run at least 1 medium to long range weapon and pair that up with a close range weapon, whether it's your preferred shotgun or an R9 or some other weapon of that nature. So that is my tip for the weapons that you should probably be running on this map. So now we are on to the final, and I think the most important tip that every player needs to understand when playing on Olympus. So tip number 5 is going to be abuse the height and punish the teams in the wide open areas. The difference between, I think, a lot of the other maps and Olympus is that Olympus is, like I said, tall and it is wide. It's got so much open space between like cover or POIs when you're rotating. If teams rotate late, you need to punish them. If you get to a place early in the zone, end game, you get ultimate height, and you make sure that with your medium to long range gun, you are punishing the teams rotating out in the open that maybe don't have a jibby, that are disorganized. You punish them. You do not let them sneak in late into the zone, get under you. You abuse the height, because usually on Olympus, the more you abuse height, the better you're going to do in the games consistently. You're going to get very easy kills, do a lot of damage or entry damage to teams. If you're paying close attention to how teams rotate around you, you will be able to catch teams that have to rotate, that have to push into another team, and you can just get a clean wipe from 200 meters away. It happens on Olympus. So make sure you're always trying to get the highest spot on Olympus, because usually ultimate height is like an exaggerated height on Olympus versus like World's Edge or King's Canyon. So make sure to take advantage of that. Try and pay attention and get used to that. I know it's something different on Olympus because it's a map. It's very unlike the other 2 maps we have, really, other than like that west corner of King's Canyon. It's very different. So, kind of like start adjusting to that and really make sure that, when you get to spots, like, are we on the best spot? Are we on height? Can we look around? Can we, 1, 2, 3, a guy that's like running out in the field away from his team, Like those things are kind of like the things that you kind of got to pay attention to when you're on Olympus that are like slightly different from the other maps. So with that really wraps these 5 tips up, this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know, is there anything else that you guys do differently on Olympus than maybe on King's Canyon or World's Edge? Drop a comment and let me know what that is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out my YouTube gaming streams or Twitch streams at twitch.tv/Prince93. But yeah, if you're on YouTube, just keep it locked to the channel and you'll be seeing me go live playing Apex, trying to get to Masters and or Pred if we can. So thank you all for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.